So I think we start. We said we begin at 10, and I like starting on time. For the benefit of those of us who are seeing this later on, you're on the B2B Marketing Excellence Podcast hosted by Shannon, Thomas, and myself. We both work for Vimi. We're a digital agency based in Bangkok, and we focus exclusively on B2B clients we call invisible giants, clients that are responsible for manufacturing all the things that are around us and we don't think about. So for example, if you see behind me, there's a concrete column. The company that makes the concrete in that column, that's an invisible giant. Mm-hmm. Today, Shannon, we promised people that we'd be talking about, there's been a lot of buzz about AI and ChatGPT and how it can or cannot be used and how it is or is not effective. And like everybody else, we've been caught up in the excitement, and we've definitely had some opportunities to put AI to good use for our clients. And today we're going to be talking about 3 case studies of how we've been doing that, and hopefully that's useful to some of the people that are listening today. I think we can dive right in. So the first example that I want to bring up is an example of creation of content. In this case, we have a relationship with a company based in Australia where we support them by running a QA team for them over here. And the time has come for one of the members of that team to have some skill, some upskilling, some training. And in this respect, the agreement was that the training would be focused on developing leadership. And we decided that we wanted to run this internally, the client and ourselves. And I basically promised that I would provide a program for developing leadership over a 12-week period, basically 1 quarter. And I started looking for what was available out there in terms of the very niche requirement of having a Thai manager, managing a team over here, and being able to simultaneously also work comfortably with a management team in Australia and navigate the complexities of the different cultural environments. And surprise, 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 there isn't that much out there that is that geared towards this training requirement. I don't think that there are that many Thai people, right, who manage a team here and they report exclusively to managers in Australia. So from a marketplace perspective, it doesn't really make sense to have a course like that. It's not to say that you don't have much wider applications, but this doesn't exist. Hi, Lawrence. Morning. Thanks for joining us.
Hello.
We've started already, and since you were a little bit delayed, we started with a case study for another client. So we'll probably wrap this up in the next 5 minutes. You can chime in or listen, and then we'll talk about the fun stuff that we've been doing together.
Sure.
I was actually talking about Sightsee, about Anthony's company, and about how the fact that they had a requirement from us to do some training for the team that we run over here put me on the spot, because if you look for courses that are geared towards management training, very specifically for Thai managers that work and report with Australian counterparts, surprise, surprise, there isn't that much over there. And I think that's where something like AI and ChatGPT can shine, because as you can see, we actually were able to produce this very nice document with a 3-page executive summary that outlines what the goal of the training is. So we're looking to empower Thai team leaders working and reporting to Australian management teams with a focus on improved collaboration and increased business success. So a very pragmatic description of the course. Methodology, expected outcomes. It's a very succinct, and I mean you're a businessman many years, and you're seeing this for the first time. I guess that I hope I'm not doing myself a disservice or putting you on the spot. But I guess that as far as a syllabus and a plan for a program is concerned, it passes muster for a sanity check.
But more than passes muster,
my acid test is, am I personally comfortable presenting this as my work to a third party, right? And know that I'm not screwing up my brand. And I feel comfortable with this. And the secret to this is that actually most of this document was produced using AI, and I'll show exactly what the prompts were that led to this, because we're going to show that there's no secrets under the hood. So this is ChatGPT. This is the interface for ChatGPT for those of you who are unfamiliar. I'm not going to go through it because I think that's too basic for this conversation, and people should be, if you're not brave enough to turn on the computer and browse to a website, I can't help you. But when you're looking at where ChatGPT really shines, if you're paying for the upgrade and you're using Model 4, it really knows how to model a particular type of author's writing very, very effectively. And in this case, we asked it to act as an organizational psychologist, specializing in developing leadership in cross-cultural contexts. And therefore, the syllabus that we got is actually very good at exactly navigating the cross-cultural issues that we were facing. We asked specifically for a 3-month weekly action because I think that, that's kind of, if you're in a business-to-business situation, you can't really afford to send somebody for a year-long training in a small company. This Sightsee, as you know, is a company that has maybe 20 people on staff. That's not the scale that they're at yet. Action-based learning, I'm a firm believer in learning through doing, so we defined that in the prompt. And here's what the raw output from ChatGPT was for this. And I think you can see, that even in terms of reading through here, the 3 months, the planning of the weekly sessions, it's a very reasonable outcome. It's a very reasonable program, one that had we asked a human being to, and I don't know that they would have provided something that was, many tiers better than this. So for me, I think this is a very good case of when you need to have tailor-made training. So you have a particular employee, you want to train them for a particular task. So for example, Lawrence, let's say in your context, you have a new junior Thai legal staff, and you want them to become, more knowledgeable about Canadian tax law for whatever reason, okay? I think a place where ChatGPT can be very effective is in at least putting together a rough syllabus of what would be good resources for that. And then you, as a senior attorney, would have to review that and say, hey, 70% of this is great and 30% of this needs to be worked on. But that 70% of your day, that sort of 70% of work that's gone away, for somebody like you, that's supremely valuable.
Yeah.
That's
very valuable.
We all know how much time pressure we're on. And like I said, I felt very comfortable presenting this to my customer. I didn't present to them, by the way, that this was made by an AI. I wanted to see what their response was. They approved it, and that's my next step, is to say, oh, by the way, Lucio, this whole thing was generated by an AI, and I reviewed it. And I'm coming clean here in the podcast. So I'm on camera saying that this is in front of a lawyer, right? I'm confessing in front of a lawyer that we leveraged it. But from my perspective, any tool of the trade that comes around is a better hammer. And if I'm making furniture and I'm not looking out for what is the newest, best hammer out there, then what kind of a furniture maker am I? This is me being professional, being aware of what's new in my industry and leveraging it to the benefit of my clients, right? Okay.
We're facing similar issues in our industry with ChatGPT. It's truly amazing what it can do. We talked about it recently in our own in a recent Asia Pacific conference that we just had, and how we can use this as a tool. And so it's not dissimilar to right now. You can go out of the internet and find a contract, and maybe that contract is going to be relevant or not relevant. But you can so we can go onto ChatGPT, tell the program to generate something, and then use that. Maybe it's 70%. 70% there, it creates a framework, and then we can add our specific human element skill set that makes it the right contract for the right purpose, which is really no different than a client going out and trying to, find a contract on the internet that's already out there. And they can send that to us and say, this is what I'm looking for. Now, can you improve on it? And it actually is a springboard for us. So, it's not, I don't see it. I see it as, like you said, it's a tool. It's a great tool to be used in the right hands.
Yeah.
So it's amazing to me.
Which brings us, your global conference is actually the next topic, and I think I'm already sharing on the screen the first slide from the presentation you so kindly asked us to make for you. Mm-hmm. And as I recall, I think it's exactly a week now from your presentation, right?
Yep.
And you contacted me exactly, it was on a Friday before the holiday, right? Thailand had the Songkran holiday, so most of the week before that we weren't working. And you sent me a pretty laconic description of what you wanted, and then a detailed description of what you wanted per slide. But you hadn't had the time to prepare any of the text for your slides. Now, you and I, we go back many years. We're good friends. We do business a lot. And I didn't want to burden you knowing how stressed you were preparing for this conference and what else you had on your plate. To burden you for writing your content when I've already done your website for you and I kind of know your business for many years, I figured, what the hell, I'll try doing it myself, right? And so what I did, and this is another nice hack, is I took, I'll share first the slides. We have here where your alliance or where your company has clients, right? All around the world. List nicely alphabetized, right? You sent us the list and the list is here alphabetized. We have these nice brief descriptions of what you're doing. This is your About Us page, right? Nice little text there. Core competencies with a brief little, so if we're talking about your corporate commercial, there's a brief description. Partner with us for success. Navigate the legal maze with confidence. And then for every one of these, there's a similar little blurb. I mean, very, I'd say very reasonable content for the type of situation where you were presenting. This was you speaking, I think, to 50 colleagues who congregated from all over the region to Bangkok for your annual conference, right? Am I more or less, because I heard John Casella talk about it this morning, so I'm wondering if I'm correct.
Yeah, no, you're spot on. Yeah.
And so, I mean, your face was on the line here. You couldn't afford to have egg on your face in this constellation, right?
Well, not only that, it was the first time, because we had just joined the alliance 2 years before, and this was the first opportunity we had as GPS to come face to face with the rest of our colleagues in the Asia Pacific region. So making a good first impression was critical.
And yet here you were thinking you were going to wing it and relying on me to write your content. But hey, ChatGPT to the rescue, right? So let's look at the magic over here. This is another use case which I like a lot, which is you I know you very well, and I know how meticulous you are about words, especially being a lawyer. And since I worked with you on the content for your website, I know that you spent a lot of time making sure that content is exactly what you want it to be word for word. And so I didn't really have to write the About Us and service descriptions for you because you'd already done them. What I needed to do, they're all on your website, right? If I go to your website, let me share this tab. So let's go to one of your service lines just for the sake of the discussion. Let's go to corporate and finance. Okay. So there's a nice detailed blurb that you guys have written years ago that describes what you're doing here. And I can only assume that you're still happy with it because if you weren't happy with it, you'd have changed it, right?
Right.
So I basically just needed this trimmed down to the space that makes sense on a slide, right? come ChatGPT to the rescue. That's it. So this is write a social media post to highlight product or service, ChatGPT, industry, legal practice. This is just the prompt that I wrote. And by the way, there's a hack on this because we used a browser plugin that lies on top of ChatGPT. Actually, I can show that. I'll show that in a second. It provided us with all the prompts, and I just copied that from your service page and asked for a particular length of description because I knew that 48 words is what can sit on the slide. And there you go. So this was good enough, right? This was good enough for me. I felt comfortable presenting this to my client and my good friend, I might say. And it was good enough for my client and good friend to present to 50 odd lawyers whom he wanted to make a good impression on. By our own admission.
Yeah. It took the stress. I mean, I was extremely stressed out without any time to put this together, and also even doubly stressed out because the requirement to do this presentation came to me at the last minute by the conference organizer, and it was preceding the long Songkran holiday. And then there was like 2 working days before we went into the conference, and I'm like, how am I going to do this? You
specified to me in chat very clearly. You made it very clear that you needed this on the 20th at noon.
Yeah.
Right. And I told you I can have it 20th in the evening. And basically I had a day and a half to work on it, and the designer had like 2.5 days to work on it. And frankly, the content bit I did before. I did on the vacation because it was on my time. I just prepped all the prompts and created all the text in advance. That was it. And I'm happy. Like I said, it's a better hammer. You know, it was a better hammer for you. It was a better hammer for me. It was a better hammer for all your colleagues that had to see this in the conference. Well, and this is when you have a copywriter on staff. You have Marissa, who's bloody good and wrote the originals, right?
Right. Well, and it was also it perfectly distilled down what I needed to convey to the audience. Without going to lengthy, oftentimes you get presentations that it's word salad and over too much, and this it really distilled the message that I wanted to deliver in a very succinct way and allowed me to end up delivering the perfect presentation appropriate for the audience.
I just want to dive in. Like for me, where do I feel comfortable with my input on this presentation? Given the fact that you also shared with us the template from from the Alliance, whatever it's called, headquarters, the mothership, and you said, look, I kind of like this. This is, if you can do something like this, I'm very happy. So for me as a provider, the place where I feel we provided added value is, it's the little things. It's the fact that there's case studies for the clients that refer to this service, which builds your credibility. That wasn't in the original, and that's my contribution. I think it pushes the agenda and it makes the slide much better. It's the little detail of now this presentation, because it's linked to your website, right? If I click here, it'll go to the web page. You can use this in your, as a marketing material that you now use for emails, for follow-ups, for meetings, etc. So there's, I still found my room to contribute and feel comfortable that I'm billing my good friend for work, I feel justified. Alrighty, that's what we have for your segment for today. If you want to say anything more or share some small story about how you've been using ChatGPT, that'd be fantastic. Otherwise, we'll move on to the last segment.
I think you demonstrated one of the things I've been struggling with is how whether ChatGPT was going to be a cheat or whether I could legitimately use it as a tool and the clients would be satisfied that, that they were getting, that I was still involved in the process. And I think you demonstrated here perfectly in terms of a user case for me, how you've inputted all of the right aspects, but that you've taken that output and still added your expertise that ended up giving me the finished polished product that I needed.
Which is what knowledge workers and creative people have been doing since time immemorial.
Exactly.
You didn't invent, you rely on law books, and you rely on, software, and you rely on a whole lot of other stuff that your predecessors in the profession didn't have accessible to them. So what? Right. So does that dilute your value in any way? Of course not.
No.
Of course not. You just have to be honest about it. I think that to use ChatGPT and not disclose, hey, this is how we're doing it, I think that's ethically questionable. But otherwise, why not?
The tools are still more. I mean, the source tools are similar. It's just how it's being delivered to you, and in more efficient ways. Yeah.
Actually, we also have the demo of the video that we made for you, which is another cool use case, where we basically just took a blog post of yours, turned that into a script, and that became content that's basically usable for short form social media. So stuff like Facebook story, Instagram story, TikTok. Let me see if I've got that there. Yeah, let me see if I can easily share this. One sec. Yeah. So this is us taking a blog post that you published and turning it into a video. Yeah. It's not a tab. It's a window because it's a separate screen. There we go. All right. So that's perfect. And here we go. Wait, my sound is off. One sec. I hope the sound works.
There's no sound on this side.
Oh, there's no sound. I think we can't demo it easily this time. I hadn't planned on demoing it, but we'll share it we'll put it in the notes for the podcast and share that video. I sent it to you already, and you're welcome to use it for whatever you want. Thank you so much, Lawrence.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye-bye. Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Our last case study is actually one that you were working on quite a lot, and it is video intensive. So I think we can hand over to you.
Okay.
Why don't you talk a little bit about what you did and what the outcomes were?
So for this one, we were working with a real estate company called Condo D.
I'll open up their website.
Okay. So a bit of context is we're working with this real estate company called Condo D, and we've been helping them looking after their ads on Facebook and Instagram, and seeing the opportunity that AI and ChatGPT has presented itself in the recent months and this year. We found the opportunity to turn one of their properties listed on their website, using ChatGPT to turn it into a script, and then using other AI tools like MyPipio to do the AI voiceover, and then using that video again in Vimi, another video editing platform, that we then were able to produce 2 videos, one short video about 20 seconds long, and the other video about 40 seconds long.
So this is your prompts for the creation of the scripts?
Yes. No, hang on.
No.
It is. Yeah, you can see that.
This one. Oh, these are.
Yes.
Sorry?
Yeah. This one. There we go.
I don't know if you're sharing your screen or not.
Yes. So you can see it. So there we go. Act as a top real estate CEO, top realtor, generate a short 120-word sales video script, about one of our best exclusive luxury property listed in a large Bangkok house amidst a soak in Thailand. Audience are rich expats living in Thailand who are interested in investing in property. Use the details from this website. The script should be fun, engaging, and informative. So you can see ChatGPT. This is a GPT-4. It's quite good. It gives you not just the script, but also the setting and the narration as well. Mm-hmm. So it shows background music starts, narrator. Welcome to your new dream oasis in the heart.
Well, instead of reading it, I mean that's not so interesting. Why don't you show let's show the outcomes?
Yeah.
And I know we did two versions of this, right?
Mm-hmm. The video.
You can play from that tab, no?
It's better on this one. So this is what we did.
Welcome to the heart of Bangkok. Discover your dream home at the Nest Sukhumvit 22, a cozy, pet-friendly condo near
And the
MRT
pictures and the
Queen
assets here,
Sirikit.
these are assets
Make
and pictures
everyday
that are already on the
extraordinary
website
with
anyway,
modern
right?
amenities and the best
Yeah.
city life. Visit condod.com now and make this small luxury condo yours.
Nice.
So very interestingly, it's this video, the short video, 20 seconds long that we can show the stats for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you did two versions of this, one 20 seconds, one 40 seconds. Before you show the stats, I invite everybody who's watching this to take a quick wager. Which video generated better performance statistics on Facebook? And if you're really, really looking for a challenge, don't only think which video generated a better performance. Put your money where your mouth is and say how much better the performance was, right? So there's a short video, 20 seconds. There's a long video, 40 seconds. Which video performed better in terms of engagement and how much better? And now I hand back to you.
Okay.
Can you show we saw the 20-second, right? This is the 40-second?
This is a 40-second.
All right, let's see the 40-second.
Experience the vibrant
So
city life
this
in
talking
Bangkok
head,
with
right?
this
That's all
charming
AI.
small
That's from
condo
my
at the
Pipio.
Nest Sukhumvit 22,
There's
a
no
pet-friendly
narrator
community.
that ever did this.
Located just steps from the MRT Queen Sirikit station in Bangkok's central business district, you'll have easy access to shopping,
I see
dining,
20
and
seconds, 3
entertainment.
times better
This
engagement.
luxurious condo offers a
James
functional design
guessed
with one bedroom, one bathroom,
guessed
a
3
balcony,
times better
and
engagement.
state-of-the-art
Actually,
amenities.
James, you're not
Enjoy
far
a
off.
dip
It
in the
was
swimming
5
pool,
times.
Work up a sweat at the
5
fitness
times
center,
better
or
engagement for the
unwind
20
in the lush
seconds.
garden. Don't miss this
No,
incredible
I see. I'm sorry
opportunity
that
to own a
it's
piece
blurry.
of
There's not much I
Bangkok's
can do
prime
about that.
real estate. Visit
Can we
condod.com today
can we see
and
the
make
stats?
this beautiful
Yes,
condo
yes,
your
yes.
new home.
Here are the stats. So this was launched yesterday, or almost 2 days now. And you can see the long video. We've got
There's the reach, yeah, and the impressions.
and the impressions. So you can see it's a very, very big difference.
Yeah, it's basically exactly five times the engagement, 5 times the impressions, 5 times the reach for the short form video. For me, the learning over here is first of all the use of ChatGPT again as a repurposer of content. Very effective, right? So you have the description and you say, okay, turn this into a script, and then additional AIs like my Pipio, and it's not so much of an AI, but like my Pipio for taking that output and turning it into video content, and knowing, being able to use the limitation that ChatGPT can accept for length in order to pre-plan that your video content will be in the end less than a minute long, and therefore suitable for short form video content, which we know is now very popular, right? So all the stories, all the YouTube shorts, all the TikTok. If you have a longer video, you're not even eligible to appear in those slots. And for me, the big surprise was I knew that short form video was effective, but to discover that 20 seconds performs 6 times better than 40 seconds, to discover that that's where the sweet spot is now, these really minuscule bite-sized bits of content. Why the hell are we doing a podcast of half an hour, right? We should be here 20 seconds and go back to the office.
Yeah, I thought 1 minute was already short enough, and then you compare it on a shorter version, and it's performed even better. It's very, very interesting science.
All right. So that's, I think, what we have for this week. We're just about wrapping up the half hour. I want to thank our clients, Sightsee and GPS Legal and Condo D for allowing us to share these case studies. And we'll be seeing you next month. What's the date of the next podcast?
The next one is...
Can you share the link?
Yes, I can.
Share the link, put the screen, let's put on the screen, let's be fancy. Because we prepared it in advance this time. Very proud of that.
Okay.
Look at that. So professional. From podcast to podcast. Eventually we'll also deal with the sound issues. Here you go. Nearly. Okay.
And it is this one.
This one.
EP4.
Yeah.
26th of May.
26th of May. All right, cool. So I don't yet know what the topic is going to be because the things change so quickly around here. But we'll be seeing you on the 26th of May on the B2B Marketing Excellence Podcast. Thank you very much, everyone, for attending. And any questions, whatever, we're available for follow-up. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Cheers, man.